So we're going to look at the place value in our number system. Hindu Arabic numbers just means not Roman numerals, the numbers that we use all the time every day. So as I'm writing things on my notes, you can underline things that I underline, but you definitely want to write out the examples that I write out. You've got to be able to identify place value and convert between basic numerals in their expanded form. So that's what we're going to do. That's our plan. So this should not be a surprise to you. The value of each digit depends on where it is. Where is the 2? Yeah, we have these special names that you've heard before. The very first digit is the ones, or we can sometimes call it the units. So in this case, the ones or units is 6. What is 2? In what place is the 2? It's the tens. So that's why they're saying that 2 tens is 20. You could write 2 tens, and that would be right. Even writing 20 would be right, because you're showing 2 is not really a 2 there. There are 20 of those. And the 1, where's that? This one. That's in the hundreds place. So there's actually 100, there's 2 tens, and there's 6 ones. So if we look at this example down here, where we have 3, 2, 5, 6, we actually have 3 thousands. Because it's in the fourth from the right, we have 3 thousands. How many hundreds do we have? 2 hundreds. How many tens? 5 tens and 4 ones or units. So that's what we call the expanded form. That's just taking each of those digits and saying, hey, I understand how this works. That number 3 is not just 3 chickens. That's 3,000 chickens. That number 2, that digit 2, because of where it's sat, means 2 hundreds. So you can also use indices for this. Now this might be something we need to go back for. 3 thousandths can be written as 10 to the power of 3. This is something we'll come back to, but this is the index form. That is the same thing. If I took 10 times 10 times 10, I'm going to get 1,000. If I take 10 times itself, 10 times 10, what am I going to get? 100. And if I have 10 just by itself, I'm going to have 10. I don't have any 10s here. I just have the number 1. So let's look at it. Write down the place value of the digit 4. Who can volunteer the place value of the digit 4? Is it ones or units, tens, or hundreds? 4 times 100. Or 4 times 10 times itself. Oh, this is a tough one. Where's the digit 4 here? We've got units. What's next? Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. Who can have a guess for what power that takes us to? Isn't it funny that 10 to the power of 2 has 2 zeros? 10 to the power of 3 has 3 zeros. So what's 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros? 10 to the power of 4. So if we did 10 times 10, we got 100 times 10 is 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. Now we're going to go back and do the opposite, right? And you now are writing all of this in your books. As I am saying it, your books are open to this page, and you are writing these examples in your books. If you don't have me in front of you, spouting at you, you can use the online text and write that in your book. Expanded form is when we take them out. 5 is in the hundreds place, so we have 5 times 100, isn't that right? 5 times 100. Added to 1 times 10, because it's in the tens place, added to 7 times 1. That's the expanded version of that. This one, I've got 25030. That 2 is in what place? I think it's in the 10,000 place. Does that sound right? If we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. Plus, what's the next digit I'm going to write? From left to right, I have 2 then. What's the next digit after 2? We did 2. 5. And what place is the 5 in? Thousands. So I'm going to put 5 times 1,000 plus. Do I need to put 0 times 100? It's not going to do anything. Let's just leave it out. Save the ink. Save the ink. 3 times 10, did you say? Yep. And we don't need the 0 because, again, the 0 is not going to do. So if I did 2 times 1,000, I get 20,000. If I did 5 times 1,000, I get 5,000. So adding these all together, that's the expanded form of this one. This one makes us write index notation, so I'm just going to fly through it. 7,000s, 7 times 10 to the, let's see, 1,000. 1, 2, 3 has 3 zeros, so that's 10 to the power of 3. 10 times 10, 100 times 10. I don't care about the 0, but I definitely have 50, sorry, that's silly, 5 times 10 to the power of 1, because there's just 1 0 there. And for this one, I've got 3 times 10,000. Let me just look at that. I've got 4 zeros, 10 to the power of 4, plus 2,000, which is 10 to the power of 3, 0 hundreds, 0 tens, and 7 times just plain 1. Or you could put 10 to the power of 0, but let's just put 1. So this is the kind of video that I'm going to make for you, and you guys are all doing exactly the right thing by writing this out in your book. So you then have it in your notes, how it was worked out. And then these puppies, these are the exercises in your Cambridge textbook. So where do I find number 2, CEG? Let's go back and find Cambridge. Look up here is the word exercise. Here is exercise 2. And those are all the things that you have to work on.